I received some new goodies from HTVRONT, and today we are going to be using the A200 Auto Tumbler Press. So I got two packages, which this one and then also this one. So we're going to open it up and see what all is inside. Oh, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. It's me, Shana, the creator of the craft print. I have lots more craft tutorials and amazing things happening on this page. So make sure you subscribe. This is like a silicone mat in two different types of thickness. I just want to show you up close. You'll see it kind of embossed on the mat. The sizing, it says 2.00 mm. And then the thicker one, I'll put them side by side for you to see the difference. You see it's 4.00 mm. So when you put them together, you can see this one is a lot thicker than the other. We have all of our instructions information in here. Heat resistant tape. This is what the heat resistant tape looks like. Those heat resistant gloves. And then of course our machine. So while I'm unboxing, I just want to tell you guys some quick information. So this tumbler press, it works on 11 ounces to 40 ounce cups, including glass cups, tumblers, and of course the big 40-ounce ones that we're going to be working on today, but you cannot use mugs. Also too, I have a coupon code for you guys for $70 off of your purchase of this tumbler press. Just check in the description of this video and I'll have it there for you. And of course I have the white one because I need to coordinate with the craft room. We're going to take this little foam piece out here. You can pull this release button and pull it out. So this is what comes when you buy basically the basic. And right here you'll see when you slide it in, this is the part that connects. It slides in. And when you push it in, you hear a little click. And now for that second box that I received. So in here, let me just read it off. This box includes the handle tumbler heat press plate, 2 mm handle tumbler heat press mat, and a 40-ounce sublimation tumbler with handle. So this is basically the attachment for your 40-ounce tumbler, and they shipped it with the tumbler inside. I'm just going to push it out from this end. So this is the tumbler. When you're pressing it, you see the handle is off. The handle is inside. You're just going to attach it back on. This has a separate type of plate because it shapes that 40-ounce tumbler. And then we have, of course, our attachment that goes in. So again, the attachment right on top here, you'll know that it's the correct attachment because it has the little image so we can't get confused. And again, this is the part that connects. You'll hear that little snap when you put it into the actual press. So you know it's inserted. That's the little handle you kind of pull on when you're taking it out just to release it and then pull it out. And again, it looks on this end here is the smaller end. And this is the larger end. So you know you'll be putting the cup in from this end. Then with the 40-ounce press, you see it's not just a flat piece. It's actually shaped with the little dent, smaller piece, wider top, like the actual 40-ounce tumbler, right? And then it came with one tumbler for us to use. The handles are off so that they can go in the sublimation, in the heat press. And here is the handle that comes inside of it. You get the top. And it also came with the straw and the cleaner for your straw to put in there. So this is everything that came in the 2 boxes. And before we start, I want to mention that you are using sublimation with these. So you should have a separate printer that you use just for your sublimation prints. You're going to need your sublimation ink and your sublimation paper. But just make sure, again, when you're doing sublimation projects, that printer is separate from your regular printer because it uses different ink, different paper. So we plug it in now. Once you have the plate in, you're going to press the power button 1 time. Now right here is the power button. This is the pressure. This is for the temperature. This is for the time. This is how you increase, decrease. That's the start button, and this is the custom button. Now with the custom, you press it 1 time. This is A. Now that's for the 20-ounce tumbler settings. B, that is for the 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler settings. The first one was stainless steel as well. For C, this is the settings for the 16-ounce glass settings. And D, that's the 40-ounce with the handle settings. Studio. If you do not have this app on your computer yet, you can just go to HTVRONT.com, go over to the right where it says Discovery. Then you're going to go to Design App right here. And then just follow the instructions to get the app, right? And if you don't have an account, sign up for the account, all of that. And then you end up here. So you're going to start right here where it says My Device. And we're going to hit the drop down button. And we're going to go down to HTVRONT A200 Auto Tumbler Heat Press. Now here you have the 40-ounce. You have the straight tumbler and you have a glass tumbler. For the glass tumbler, it says 16-ounce glass template. Then here you have the option for 15-ounce, 20-ounce, 30-ounce tumbler under the straight tumblers. And then for the 40-ounce tumbler, which is the big one we're using today, you have the option for the upper half here without handle parts. Then this is the coverage for with the handle. This little cutout is the pieces where the handle gets screwed in. Then we have that midsection part separate. Then you have the lower part separate. And this last option, it's going to give you both of these. So it's the middle and the lower part. Now, I want to tell you guys that I have made mistakes. This is probably my 5th time getting this done, so I'm going to show you guys the correct way to do things. Now, I already have a design. We're going to start with the lower and the middle. I'm going to pull my design up here. These are the 2 pieces that I did. Now, you can either bring in a design or you could do it yourself, and I'm going to show you that. But before we go anywhere, this here, I have it grouped together. So I'm going to ungroup it because you see, I put the word crafty right here. I'm going to zoom in for you to see this, right? And if it makes it easier, zoom into design. So I put crafty here, and then I cut this out, and I realized this is not the right way. You got to switch it. I did it upside down. So when you design for the mid part, you're going to make sure your design is facing the other direction. So we're going to turn this around and bring the words here. And this will be the correct side. And these we're going to bring on the other side here. So this is how you have to design in this direction. So I'm going to go through and do that. Also, too, you see the word crafty, it's flipped. So this is sublimation. So you have to mirror your images. So what you're going to do, this one right here is already mirrored, but you would just go up to go to flip, and you flip horizontally. So all of your designs, you need to have them flip horizontally, especially if they're words or anything that you need a specific direction, make sure you flip horizontally. So I'm going to go back in and just change these in the direction that I actually need it to be. So I'm going to highlight everything. I'm going to right click and then group it together so that when I move it, they're all together, because I want to show you how to do this yourself. So now this is where you're going to design. You can go to upload and then you can bring in any images. I'm going to go to open and you can shrink. So basically what I did here, you're going to bring in your background design that you want, if you want a background design. You're going to make sure it's covering the entire part. Then at the top here, you're going to select clipping mask. And it's going to put it in here. You can release the clip to take it out. But I want to show you something. When you put this over here and you hit clipping mask, just know that your design for this, it's going to go in exactly that way. So if you wanted to have the clouds a different direction on the mid part, I would go back and click on that middle by itself like this. And then like put your cloud, line it up, mask, and then have it like that if you want the cloud in there, right? If not, go back and design them together, right? And then you can bring in your images, go to upload, find the images that you're using. I'll just bring in one to show you. Click on shrink, and then just size it the way you want it and just design and lay everything where you need it to be. Again, this has my name right here. So you're going to go to flip horizontal, just so you have these mirrored before we send them, right? So I'm just going to clip that in. Let's move this to the front. You can go to arrange and move to the front. Just going to line it back up. So I have my background, and then you just bring in whatever images you want and lay them where you want them to be, right? Now, if you want the cup to stay white, just don't use it. Just lay your images where you need it to be, and then you can cut it out like that. Now, we're going to do the full coverage top. I'm using this one. I did the same thing with this. So what I did was I went to upload. I'm going to bring in my images. Let's set it aside. Go back to upload. Find whatever you have on your computer, my background that I'm using. You're going to make sure it's spread out, covering the entire thing, clipping mask. Then I brought my image that I have here. You can go to arrange if it's in the back and bring it to the front and line it up where you want it. Again, if it has a name, some wording, you want it facing a specific direction, make sure you flip that image. Then I also had some wording that I created in Canva. So I found these individual letters. It's not a font. I found in Canva, put them together, and I saved them with without a background. And then you just design it the way you want it. Now, these are words, so make sure you flip them, right? And that's how I designed the bottom piece. This is the top, the middle, and that's it. So now let me show you how to print it. So for paper size right here, you're going to choose your correct paper size. The A4, that's basically your 8.5 by 11 paper. And as you can see, that's too small for us to use. A4 would be considered your 11 by 17 paper. For my sublimation printer, it does not print this big. So I'm going to choose the 35.56 by 21.5 centimeters, which basically equals the 8.5 by 14 paper, right? So now when it's time to print, we're going to lay it on here. You have to highlight the entire design, click on make, and make will bring you here to print. You're going to send to print. You're going to choose your printer. I'm using my EcoTank 2800. You're going to choose the paper size. I'm using the legal size, which is the 8.5 by 14 inches. And you see it automatically went to landscape, but if it doesn't, just make sure you do so it's printing correctly. Then for the media and quality, I'm choosing the matte paper. It defaults to best, and I'm going to send it to print. And now I'm just going to remove this one from here. Click on the template for the lower one. Line up my paper. We're going to highlight the entire thing, select make, print, and go through that same process again. Choose the printer, choose the paper size. You see, this time it didn't default to the landscape, so make sure you select landscape. For our medium quality, I always choose photo matte paper best, and then print. And then we're finished here for the designing part. I'm using the Epson EcoTank 2800. And this is the sublimation paper that I'll be using, the 8.5 by 14 inch A-sub sublimation paper. So now we have our printouts, right? We're going to cut these out with a scissors and make sure you get those little square pieces that we have cut out for the handles, right? So I went through the whole process of be very careful. I tried not to mess up the design. So just take your time, when it comes to getting back into cutting in those grooves. And I'll show you guys, I actually forgot the other side. So now we have our cup. You want to clean it off, make sure there's no dust. I'm using a microfiber cloth. And as you see, I'm starting with the bottom of the cup first. We're going to line it up where our split, where we start and begin, matches up where the cup handle is going to be. So remember, we're starting with the bottom. Now you're going to pull this as tight together as possible. A little piece is going to be hanging off the edge, but that's perfectly fine. Just make sure it goes as high as to the like top of the rim of the bottom half of the cup as possible. Then I tape this down. Now, some people like minimal tape. Some people like to overdo it. I say whatever you're comfortable with. Now, the middle section, you're making sure wherever you start, so we have that split line, make sure it matches up all throughout the cup. I don't have a like seamless design, so you're going to see it, but it's okay. Just make sure you're lining up all of the pieces at the same mark right there. Then you're going to tape it down. At first, I tape down just across where it starts and begins, but later on, I'll show you guys too. I'm gonna come back in and I'm gonna tape down the area right above the top just to make sure it fits all in there. And now you see how that looks, right? So now we're going to move over to the top half of the cup, and I made sure I wiped it down again with that microfiber cloth because I was kind of touching the cup. I just want to make sure none of my fingerprints or any dust or anything got in the way because I don't want my design to be messed up. So now you see here what I was talking about. I forgot to cut that piece out. You want to because it's allowing the little tabs from the handle to go in, and your design fits perfectly on the top. So we're going to lay it down one side. Now, my focus was making sure like the top piece got the design and some kind of hanging over the bottom so that it kind of meshes seamlessly into the middle design. So it took a few times, but I got it. I also have my sister on the side handing me the strips because I don't have like a tape dispenser. But anyway, we had to get it done. So I want to go back because I'm going to tape right here together instead of just the beginning. I'm going to go back in and tape all of this up. Now it's time for us to press. Do not plug in the machine yet. You're going to get your attachment. We know this is the one because it has the image of the 40-ounce tumbler on there. Those two pieces is where we're going to slide these two pieces into. Now you're going to open it a little wide, just slightly, just so it could go in. Again, this is before you plug in the machine. We're putting that in until we hear a click, and it's going to sound basically like this. Once it's in, we plug in the machine, and then we're going to hit that custom setting button on the bottom right side there, and we're going to click it 4 times until we get to setting D, which is 390 degrees, 170 seconds, and 100-pound pressure. Okay, so we're going to put this in the case. And you're going to bring that as close together as possible. Right here. Hold it as tight as possible. I'm gonna throw on the gloves before I put it in there. We're putting it in through the wider end, obviously. All right, so we're making sure it is as close together as possible. Then you're going to slip that in there with this piece facing up. And then this is the start button. We're going to press that. And you can see it squeezed close and is counting down. I'm going to push from the bottom, pull it out, and we're going to put it just to rest right here for 30 seconds. But don't forget, make sure you take this out. Don't leave this inside of the machine. Take it out, let that air out. You see that smoke? And it's only 30 seconds and then peel. It has to be a hot peel. Oh, I see my paper moved a little bit, but let's see what we're working with. Down. Oh my God. I love it already. Do you see that? Oh, my gracious. Hold on. This tape is really holding it down here. Oh, look at the bottom already. Oh my God. All right, let's peel. Ciao. One thing is hard to do is peel with these gloves. Let me get something to my scissors to kind of hold it and help peel it up. There we go. Let's see, did we get it all the way up? We got it close enough. All right, look at that. Ooh, gorgeous. Gorgeous. All right, now we have to put our handle on. So you see what I was, look, see how it was a little higher? Got a little shadowing there. Got to work on that next time. I would say it's probably easier, especially because my clouds don't even match up. But if you have like a clear design and then I had just these pieces on it, I'm going to try that next time and see how that looked. But I didn't have a design that actually matches up. So if you're going to do something like this, I would do a plain color here and then down here back into the cloud. But it came out amazing. And I wanted it where no matter where you look at the cup, front or back, I had the design on it and that worked out. So here we see that seam, but I did get it close. Just right there is where I was a little bit off. But for the most part, if it's just colors, it'll be better because my design seams don't match up. So you see that line, you know? Look at that. All right. It's pretty cool down. So let's get the handle. So you put the handle on. All right, so it is a tight fit just to make sure it's size. So you're going to put the top piece on first. And then you're pulling down a little to get in the piece here. And then it's tight and secure. The two screws come in there. And it's underneath here. And underneath here. So I'm going to hold it with my finger and then screw it in. Damn it. There we go. Tight. I'm going to hold it down with my thumb here. Put the screw in. I just want to add that it's recommended that you use a screwdriver, not an actual drill, but this is all I have. And I just pressed it lightly so that it's not going too fast. And that's it, guys. Look at how gorgeous my new custom tumbler is. I love it. I give this machine a 10 out of 10. If you are not subscribed to my channel, make sure you do. And you can turn on those post notifications so you know when I upload another video. I think I'm going to try out the skinny tumbler next. Shout out to HTVRONT for sending over their new press for me to try out. I love it. And this is how it looks on the top. I know we know how it looked, but I just wanted to show you. I was pressing down the top, but you actually screw it in. But that's neither here nor there. So guys, make sure you subscribe and I'll see you for the next upload. I think I'm going to try the skinny tumbler next. Let me know what y'all want to see.